Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Greetings, Algo artisans. Cowboy here. It is Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. We're going to take a look for the charts this week for Bitcoin, Solana, EURUSD, GBPUSD, USDJPY, USDCAD, GBPJPY, AUDJPY, AUDUSD, USDCHF, SP500 Futures, Dow Futures, NASDAQ Futures, gold, and silver. And you notice I've added a lot more Forex pairs here. We are a trading channel, and I believe Forex is a great place to get started. You can also do the same with cryptocurrency and the indices. So I'm going to keep it basic with cryptocurrency with pairs that I believe are easily tradable or more consistently tradable, such as Bitcoin and Solana. And then we're going to focus on Forex because that's a great place to get consistent wins. Before we do all of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the calendar events this week for the data that's being dropped. That data can change the markets. So here we go. Okay, Monday is going to be pretty quiet, no major events. Tuesday we got at 10 o'clock AM EST, consumer confidence. Aussie dollar is going to have its CPY at 7:30 p.m. EST. We have some USD data coming out at 8:30 a.m. EST. We got the GDP and unemployment claims coming out on Thursday. We have some Euro data coming out on Thursday, and it can come out at any time in the day. So trading the Euro on Thursday might not be the best idea because the German CPI is coming out, and that is probably the strongest CPI that can affect the euro. So we got to be careful on Thursday for that. Friday, we have the Canadian GBP at the same time as the USD core PCE. So the core PCEs and inflation metrics can affect markets pretty strong, and that's at 8:30 a.m. EST on Friday. I can cut the video. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. We're going to start with Bitcoin. Okay, so I think Bitcoin might be ready to take a fall. Now, normally when I look at charts and I see that Bitcoin or anything else is in a range, I don't try to anticipate the breakout. I wouldn't trade this until it broke out, right? Just because I have this mapped as a possible move down, my general rule is not to take that short until price actually has broken out of the consolidation. And for the purposes of that, I would have my bottom probably at 94,500. So the way I would play this is if the algo's set to go and price broke down, I would look for a trade after the breakout right in this area. So I would look for something like this, possibly. Little entry on the breakout right here, take a short as such, or wait for a retest, the bearish retest, and then take the trade after that, using this as the structure right here. So that's how I would do that. And the same is going to be for Solana. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so Solana, similar scenario, and Bitcoin is going to affect that. So if Bitcoin breaks down, Solana will probably break down as a result, and we'll see a similar play, right? So I probably would not be shorting this until price broke below $160, right about here. If price breaks below that, I'll look for a short, whether it's on the breakout or at a bearish retest, just like with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at EURUSD. Now we do have a short-term possible move down, but right now the dollar is a bit bearish, with making the euro in comparison a bit bullish. So I do expect a move up this week. There is a bit of a resistance at 105.34, so price may reject there, but I still think price will eventually break above that, if not right away. So as you can see, we do have our contingencies. It might break a little bit lower, which you see this lesser likely scenario here with the dashed line. It might break higher sooner with this not quite as likely scenario right here, but my main scenario is the solid line, and that's how it's going to be with all of these. Let's take a look at the cable GBPUSD. Very similar, although it looks to me on the algos like there might be a bit more of a dramatic pullback before a move up, but in the end I expect a pullback and a pop up. You have a resistance from some older structure right here at $1.2881, so price may reject right there, might have a hard time breaking above that, could go sooner, could break down deeper. Those are less likely scenarios. Let's take a look at USDJPY. Okay, so USDJPY is still high time frame bearish, and it is absolutely bearish going back to like early January. It's just been nothing but downslide. And I don't expect that to change right away, except for the fact that we are near a major support. So this is on a pretty high time frame. I could go to the daily, even the weekly, and see this support right here, and that's at $1.4849. So I would not be shorting as price got close to that, but on a lower time frame, I have no problem catching some shorts on the way down. So I do expect a little bit of a pop up, maybe some sideways, and then a short down to that. Now I do expect a possible hard bounce right there because it is such a major support, but eventually I do expect price to break down below that. I'm not going to trade that until it happens, but that's what I'm expecting, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at USDCAD, otherwise known as the loonie. I expect more ranging. It could break either way, could break out topside, could break down, but as long as it's inside the range, I'll probably look to trade that range. And if it breaks out, I'll trade the breakout. Pretty simple. Topside breakout might end up at 143.68 or so, and a bottom side breakout really could go anywhere. I just have it maybe kind of fizzling out around the 140 area. Let's look at GBPJPY, otherwise known as the Beast. Okay, similar to USDJPY, I expect sideways to down action, which is what we've had going back for some time for the same reasons. JPY is getting stronger and stronger. Maybe a small pop-up, maybe not, maybe sideways, but I expect price to come down to this local support sitting at 187.03 in Japanese yen. Now we could get a bounce upwards to grab liquidity at this local high, or even below that. That high is 190.97, but I expect sideways for this week with a propensity to head down. These pop-ups can go higher than expected, or could break down, but this is the most likely path on that solid line. Let's take a look at AUDJPY, which may not be one of the 8 majors, but it's got a lot of liquidity and I like to trade it. So here we go. AUDJPY, same as the other JPYs, a lot of sideways to down with potential pop up, potential sooner move down, and I think it's going to come down to this major support, which is going back to 93.310. Now, the thing about this one is you're in a higher time frame head and shoulders formation, and it's a nice, beautiful upward slanting head and shoulders. The disappointing part is that it's already played out, but there is still some room for price to move down to this lower level. For now, I'm comfortable shorting until 93.310 as long as the algos say that I can, but once it starts to reach that area, I'm going to be a little bit more careful, and it very well could reach that by the end of the week. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar, AUDUSD. Sideways to down, could break down sooner, but we do have a decent little support right here going back to some other pivots. So I expect maybe a bounce at about 63.27. That's 63.27 cents. Might break below, might not. Kind of expecting sideways to down, so it might be a good time to go ahead and play this range that we see having developed back here. Might be a way to look at that. Let's move on to the Swissy, USDCHF. Swissy bearish, so I would say that's probably more to do with the USD being bearish than the Swissy being bullish, and it does look like it's ready to break downward. It could go and bounce, it might bounce here, but I eventually expect to see, after some lower highs, a move down. It's just what the algos say can happen. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but it's what might happen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SP500 Futures. So the indices are taking a hit, but we have to always make room for the possibility that the plunge protection team comes in to hold up the price. Now, we do have plenty of times where the SP500 and so forth will pull back for quite some time, weeks or even months at a time. Quite often you see the plunge protection team come on in and they stop things from falling too hard. So we might see a bounce right here at about 59.40 and price even head back up. We might see sideways, but if the algos had their druthers, I would see the market heading down to about 58.60 by the end of the week. We'll see though. It would really surprise me to make it down there just by the usual behavior of the plunge protection team. And we're going to see this as a similar theme with the rest of the indices. So let's jump over to the Dow. Dow Futures here, stronger move down, and we might see more of a strong move down. But again, plunge protection team could come in, hold price from falling, and even push it back up. But we do have a range bottom right around 41,900. This would be a substantial move down, but we have seen such moves in recent history going back to December through the first of the year. So it would not surprise me to see price do this. And it's going to depend on when the plunge protection team can or wants to push that back up when it changes. So the algos will tell us what we need to know. I wouldn't short just yet. I would want to see this move get bought up a little bit. I think when you have these strong moves down like we've seen right here, that the market's going to want to buy that up. So I don't know that I would short that bottom. I'd look for some kind of a pullback to go ahead and short first. Maybe it'll happen all the way down here where this pullback is that I've drawn right there. Maybe it'll happen right here, but I would wait for a pullback on that. Let's move over to the NASDAQ. Similar to the rest of the indices for all the same reasons. Bearish, look for a pullback, and I will short it, and we might see price head down or plunge protection, grab that and put it back up. We have a support right here at 21,375 and another support at 20,900. Let's move on to gold. Metals have been on fire. I do not expect that to change. And while there might be some minor pullbacks, I do expect gold and silver both to break out upside at some point. And we might get that 3,000 in the Q1 or Q2 prediction that I made going back 7 or 8 months ago at least. But I do expect sideways to up this week. And as soon as it breaks above the all-time high at 29.50, we might get a bit of a pullback and then a move up to that 3,000 level. We'll see. We'll see if we finally, for the first time in history, see a $3,000 gold ounce. Let's take a look at silver. Silver does have that politically or financially sensitive, however you want to look at it, number of $32 an ounce. It is currently above that, and the COMEX supposedly starts losing a little bit of money, or at least the people running the COMEX lose money when silver stays above 32 for too long. Now, we've seen it do that. We've seen it go to 34, but it did get slammed back down. I expect a little bit more sideways than up, but there is always that possibility that for whatever reason, silver does head up. But I don't think it's going to do it right now. I think you're going to get sideways to down, and that's just going to be what it is most likely. Well, thanks for watching. Like I said before at the beginning of the video, we have a lot more Forex pairs involved, and Forex is a great place to start trading because you can put in a relatively small amount of money and you can make a dent with that. Now, crypto is awesome, but crypto is a little bit less predictable. It's extremely volatile, and that is a game that is a lot harder to learn how to play. Forex is a lot easier to learn how to play. We can transfer our Forex trading capabilities and methodology over to any market, whether it be the indices or stocks or silver or gold, commodities, you name it. Anything with a candlestick, it all works the same. But I've had success in Forex, consistent success in Forex. When crypto was in the bear market, not doing anything for a year and a half, Forex was still plodding along, given opportunities several times a month. And I'm telling my traders they really should look into either Forex or the stock indices as a way to consistently make money. Trying to bet on cryptocurrencies that you think are going to go 100x is almost always going to separate you from your money. There's the odd person out there that has some success with that, but for the most part, it's not going to happen for you. Very, very unlikely. Not saying it's impossible, but I don't play on possible, I play on probabilities. And the probability of learning a system, putting in the work, showing your work ethic, studying for a few hours a week, building a trading system that is on a predictable asset class such as Forex, such as precious metals, such as the indices. Doing that is going to give you the tools to extract regular money from the markets. If you really like crypto as an asset class, you can do what I've done over the years and taken my wins and put them into cryptocurrency to have them as an investment. We're not talking about investment. We are talking about trading here. Come on over to algofactory.tech. I'm extremely good at teaching people how to do this. They build their own methodology. Your success is almost 100% dependent on your work ethic and your perseverance. And on top of that, we got V the Gorilla in there. And this guy is connected very high across the world. He knows a lot about what's going to happen, and he's able to tell us with very high accuracy which way the wind is blowing on everything from stocks to gold and precious metals, especially gold and crypto. But he knows it all. And that guy is able to tell us things that have made me money time and again. Consider getting in at the 99.98 because it's probably going to go to 199.96, right? And it's probably going to happen pretty soon. We only have so many spots at the current price. Get in while you can. Algofactory.tech. Learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro. And we hope to see you all over at algofactory.tech. See you on Tuesday morning, 8:30 a.m. sharp for the live show. Thanks for watching.